Hey, what's up, people of YouTube and people of my channel? Now, I know this may seem like a random post because, like, I've never posted anything like relatively. Well, actually, no, I have posted something relatively Final Fantasy, but like on the 7 remake. But this is Dissidia, which is like a fighting game that was made by Square Enix using Final Fantasy characters from, I'm pretty sure, every single Final Fantasy. Yeah, I think it's like every single one. Maybe I think they might have left some out, but nevertheless, it's still a fighting game, and it's mainly like, yeah, honestly, it's like Shinobi Strikers. Or well, Shinobi Strikers is built like this because this came out before Shinobi Strikers. But honestly, I had low key forgotten about this game because when it came out, it was like $60, and right now it's on sale for 15, and the deluxe edition with DLC characters is available for 22. So I decided, you know what, I think I want to play the game again. And the game has a free version that has been out for I think about a year or maybe a couple months now. And it's a full trial of the game. So you can play pretty much every mode except for like story mode. But you can play everything, and it doesn't have every character available, but it has a rotation of characters so that I think it's each week the rotation goes around and a new set of free characters comes out and you can use those. But enough about that being said. The reason why I'm actually bringing this game to your attention is because I actually really like this game, and honestly, it looks like it's starting to come back to life because after Christmas, I've noticed that a lot of new people have started playing the game, and I just thought it'd be great to bring it to your attention and tell you exactly why I think this game would be good for you to get if you don't already have it. Okay, so the game starts off by sending you into this little selection where you pick a summon. There are 6 summons to choose from, and when you start to pick the one that you want, it is actually selected at random because they pick them up into a bowl and then they shuffle them out and you get to pick one at random. Don't worry though, because it won't be the only one you get. Now, this is the home screen. The home screen has all the modes that you can choose from, and since I'm using the free version, story mode is not available to me. Inside of the shop, there are like pix arts you can choose from to be able to put on your profile and use as your profile picture. So you'll be able to have several different ones from several different characters across the entire Final Fantasy franchise. And with each picture, you're actually able to upgrade it with stars. 1 star is the initial picture, 2 stars is a picture with more of a flashy effect, and the third star is a picture with a glossy effect. Now it costs more money the higher you go up, but really it's not too expensive till you get to the 3rd star. So be cautious of that. But you can pick from every Final Fantasy character that is in the game and several different types of pictures from those Final Fantasy characters. There's also music inside of the store that you can buy from every single Final Fantasy. And honestly, it is pretty pricey, but you can use it when you're waiting in the wait menu while you're waiting to be put into a match. And you can also use it to be randomized for certain characters and certain maps. So it's very customizable in that sense. This game is actually has a lot of customization to it because you can do a lot with characters, music, and your own profile. Now, in the home menu, there's the shop options, online mode, offline mode, and tutorial. Offline mode consists of gauntlet mode and sparring match. Gauntlet mode is where you pick a character and 2 computers to help you through a series of random matches. Sparring mode is where you can pick your character and fight computers to be able to better your skills. Tutorial teaches you about the combats, the system, and the move list for each different character, which is really why you pick a main. And then online mode consists of ranked mode solo, ranked match party, and custom matches. Custom matches, you can bring your own friends and have a match of your own. And ranked party, you can get with 2 other friends and just go into a ranked match. After you do that, you get to choose a customized HP attack, which is different for every single character. You get to choose a set of EX skills. And EX skills, there are plenty to choose from, and you can mix and match 2 different EX skills for yourself or your character. You get to also customize your character's outfit and weapons, and you also get to customize your chat messages for in-game and while you're waiting in this wait menu. After you do that, you go into this wait menu and you get matched with other teammates. Now, it may or may not take a long time. Right now, it's very iffy about the time. Sometimes it doesn't take long, other times it takes like 5 minutes. But usually, it's more of an in between at like 3 minutes. I've noticed that's the average right now. It's only getting faster from people joining after that. you get to pick a summon, and you can pick summons through which summons you and your teammates have available. So really, that first summon that you pick, since there are a lot of people that have like been in the game that are still playing, every summon usually be available to you. After that, you go to a screen where you can see who you are fighting against, and you can continue to talk to actually come up with a strategy, choose who you want to fight, or just continue to have fun. When you go into the battle, the characters will actually have an exchange of words, and I actually think it's pretty unique because they all have different animations and things that they say. Now, in the combat, there are summons inside of the game, and the summons can be summoned through actually getting cores which are scattered throughout the map. And if you have like the tips and advice added on, then your mover will say either they can summon, you can summon, or they'll let you know when the core is actually coming. Now, summons each have different types of attacks, different radius, different rates of attacks, and the damage is somewhat different, but it's still big either way it goes. Now, you can also summon, of course, and you don't have to be the one actually summoning for the summoning to come out, but someone on your team has to do it. Depending on the charge rate, will depend on how long it takes one and two people to actually be able to summon it. But if all three of you summon at the same time, it will come out instantaneously, regardless of like charge rate. So it's really good to work together on trying to get summons to come out. Now, you have been warned though, even though you get the summon does not necessarily mean you win guaranteed. It just is really helpful to you, and it can also be helpful to the enemy. So it's very good to plan out the way in which you want to attack and how you want to approach fighting the enemy while your summon is out. Because it can help you greatly. And it's really beneficial to destroy those cores. So keep that in mind while you're fighting. Also, every summon has a unique final attack, which will actually break the enemy, which is very beneficial to you and your teammates. Now, I'm not going to go too far in depth with that because if you play the game, it's more of a tutorial, or if I do, it'll just be later in the video. Cool? Yeah. Now, I've spoken a lot on the differences in special attacks between summons, but each character also has a special EX skill, which is it's like essential to each character, but it's also different for each character, and how you use them is also exactly different. The effects is also different too, and there are also two EX skills that I talked about earlier that you can choose for yourself, and or if you so choose, design them to be custom made for your character, your playstyle, lots of stuff, and they all have different effects. Now, the EX skills do not vary from character, and you can use them on any character. The combat system is also very basic enough for anyone to be able to join in if you already haven't noticed, but the combat is it actually has an extremely more in-depth feel to it because positioning matters for certain characters, and some of them don't have specific attacks. Some can attack upwards, others cannot. Some can attack down, others cannot. And some have long range attacks, other ones only have close range attacks, even inside of the different types of characters. So really, it's a lot actually goes into combat, even though it's simplistic enough for anyone to pick up. But for you to master, I would say mainly stick to one character because it's built for you to master a specific character or class type. And yes, the game does have a class system. Regarding the class system, there are actually four different classes. These are the assassins, the vanguards, the marksmen, and the specialists. Now, the assassins specialize in getting up close quickly, hitting fast, and getting out of the area. They are apparently really good against marksmen. Now, marksmen excel in actually hitting people from far away and making people keep their distance, but their attacks can be kind of slow. So you have to be careful. So you have to be extremely careful of your positioning and knowing where enemies are, how to help your teammates, and staying close to them. It would be very bad if you get them as a marksman. And marksmen are apparently really good against vanguards. Vanguards have extremely strong HP attacks that can be reflected back at the opponent or deflect the attack of an opponent and still hit them. So it's really good for creating openings, but they have to be timed perfectly. They're really good against assassins because of their strength and ability to actually take hits while they attack. Now, it's not any extremely stupid super armor like it is with Shinobi Strikers, because they get just activated whenever. It only happens at a specific time, and it happens when you do a specific attack. So it has to be timed perfectly in order to be like activated. Otherwise, you can get hit out of the attack. You are not invincible completely. And the last class are actually specialists. Specialists actually don't have too much of an explanation because they can be a mix of either all classes or just two classes. So they vary very much. it's not like they are actually just one specific type of class. They can do many things that each of the classes can, and it's not like they're just one specific type. Depending on the character will depend on what they specialize in if they're a specialist. Okay, I'm pretty sure you know this already, but it's 3v3. So this means that teamwork is essential in this game, which is really why there is a class setup, and there's also the ability to go into a ranked party mode because you need to be able to communicate with your teammates. Now, even though there are clear advantages between the classes and one is strong against the other, it does not mean you'll win. You'll have to be able to understand your character and understand the opponent's character to be able to win. Because if someone is really good with their character, it does not matter which one they are playing. They can still beat you. Every character comes with the same amount of bravery to start with and the same amount of HP. So it takes the same amount of damage to knock each character out so that everything is still balanced in terms of like actual combat in the actual combat system, which is very much appreciated. Also, if you haven't noticed, when you're fighting, the body tracking is actually extremely beautiful. So that when you get knocked into landscapes and you actually hit somebody into a combo, the combo does not stop unless you press the button, unless you stop pressing the button to be able to stop the combo. So getting caught can be extremely punishing, and also those exchanges between dodge and having skillful combat are very likely to happen. So it is extremely fluid in that regard, and the better you know your character, the more fluidly you can move when you evade attacks and you try to attack back, because there's no attacks to use. Also, while fighting other characters, you should pay attention to what attacks they use and what they can use. That way you'll be able to strike back when the moment comes when they start attacking you and you start dodging their moves. It's also important to know when you should and should not move in on specific characters, but that'll be something that you learn while you're playing. Another important thing to note is most likely what everyone is wondering about is how do the matches play out? The matches can play out actually extremely fast. So match time and match timing is like kind of different. When I mean match timing, I mean how long it takes to find a match, and then match time is how long you are in the match for. And I'm pretty sure there's different words for it, but that's just what I like to say. Now, match time usually is only like, well, I can't really say because it's not really average. It kind of just depends on if your team is good or if the other team is good. So it just really depends on how well the battle is going. If it's going really well, it'll take a while. Like it could take 5 minutes. As long as the one I was in was like, I think it might have been the entire length of the match, which I think is 5 minutes. And the shortest one I've been in was 2 minutes because my team just got whooped that fast. So it just depends on how well you play. If you understand the game, it can be a really fun match that'll go on for a while, and it's extremely fun to get into. As you like play the game more, you'll begin to understand. So this is why you pick a main. But besides that, when it comes to being in combat and the connection between characters, I think it was said that the connection was player to player, but the connection is honestly really good. Like sometimes it'll lag, it's the occasional lag, but I haven't actually seriously been disconnected from a match. It can happen if someone's like internet is really that bad, but as long as you have a stable internet connection, you actually be fine in the matches. Like I haven't really run into lag too much, and if I have, it's just like more of a really minor thing that eventually goes away, or it'll go away, come back for a little bit, and then just go away. So really, it's not too big of a deal. And honestly, I feel like this game has really improved with its stability. Although it was kind of built pretty stable from the beta, but I did notice it was a bit more laggy during the beta when I initially played it. Now, many of you may be wondering why it is that I'm giving this game so much praise when I did not actually buy it upon release. Now, the reason I didn't buy this game upon release is because it actually suffered from the same thing that Shinobi Shrekkers did, like, except this game actually had a story mode. Now, with Shinobi Shrekkers, it doesn't have a story mode at all. It just has missions. And in this game, there is a story mode, but I just didn't like the story mode because I didn't feel like it was. I didn't feel like it actually mattered to anything because this Dissidia NT actually focused more on the multiplayer aspect of combat. So it didn't really focus on the story, which you can tell. The story was not that engaging, and it really wasn't anything too fun to get into. So I didn't feel like buying the game. Also, I felt like it really wasn't worth $60 to really only be playing multiplayer and only playing standard matches in a core battle. I really didn't feel like that was worth $60. Plus, the game only came with like 20 something. I think it was like 20 something characters when it initially came out. So I was just like, yeah, I don't really feel like that's $60 worthy. But The game is now at the low price of 15 for a base and 22 for the deluxe, which comes with the DLC characters and additional weapons and uniforms. I think it is, yeah, alternate uniforms and weapons. So it's actually a really great deal. I do see the game as worth 22 bucks, especially for DLC characters, because they actually have more modes than just this one that I've been playing. Because I'm actually on the free. There's actually a core mode that is also actually extremely fun when you play it. You can go into gauntlet mode where you can go into sparring match to be able to play that core battle, but I'm pretty sure it actually is available on online. I'm just not sure how to get to it if you can under the free. So don't quote me on that because I haven't bought the game yet, but I'm probably gonna get it. Now, also when I say like it is lagging in content, I don't actually mean like there's like nothing to gain from playing the game. I like yeah, obviously there is. When you play ranked match, you actually get increase or decrease the rank based on whether you win or lose, or based on your ranking after the match is over. You come in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth. It will actually will actually depend on how much you lose your rank, or if you gain rank, or if you don't lose or gain any rank. So it just that is actually very dependent. But if you win, you will gain rank regardless of what position you were in, although it might not be much the lower the position. But if you lose, but you had a high rank, you usually won't lose any rank, or if you do, it'll be extremely small. It also depends on how fast the match ended. Like the faster whether you win or lose, like I said, also varies, and you'll get that in time. But you also, besides just gaining rank, you get gil, which allows you to be able to buy more music and more like pictures inside of the store. Now, in the beta, I think there was more available because you had access to everything. And in the free, I noticed you don't have access to certain things. So I'm not sure if that's just like a beta thing where I can't purchase everything or what. So when I spoke on that, I only knew that that was guaranteed to be in like the full game. I just don't know if that's everything in the store. So pardon me on that. I wouldn't really know unless like I got the full game. But I will eventually probably know. So I'll let you up on that one. Besides that, while you fight, you also level up your character, which gives you access to more HP attacks and words and chat messages that they can use, which you can also customize yourself. And while you level up your personal level, it gives you more access to EX skills, and you get more gil, and you actually are able to do more with your EX skills. So it's very nice. It gives you a lot of stuff. It's very rewarding for that. There's also items that you get from I think gauntlet mode. I just don't know if they are because I haven't tried to play gauntlet mode. I hear it gets hard, and I think they did lower the difficulty in a patch apparently, but I wouldn't know because I did not play the game before that, and I have not tried gauntlet mode. So I, I don't know if I plan to, but like the higher you score in gauntlet mode, the more rewards you get. So try to get as high as possible if you choose to play gauntlet mode. Okay, so now I pretty much covered the basics of everything in the game that I actually wanted to talk about, and now let's get down into it. Well, like if you should get the game. The game right now is $15 for the full game and 22 for the deluxe, which I have like repeated like too many times. You probably are tired of hearing that. But there's also a free version of the game if you actually feel like you want to test it out before this sale is over, which I don't think it ends till like January, so you should be perfectly fine. And the free version allows you to be able to play online, offline, and you can also do training and all that other stuff and access the store. But you cannot play story mode, which doesn't really matter that much. Also, there's only a free limited amount of characters to use, which changes every week. So if you end up finding a main that you want to use, you can buy that character for $7. But at like that point, you might as well just get the game because that's half the price of the full game. A lot of these characters are fun to play. So I wouldn't even suggest wasting your money like that when the game's so low. But yeah, give it a try. You can play online with people who already actually own the full game. So whether you get the free game or not, you'll still be able to enjoy basically all the game has to offer. You just won't be able to enjoy the big thing about the game, which is the variety of characters and the difference in their attacks and all that jazz. But yeah, make sure you give this game a try. It's available in the store right now. You can go look at it. I've actually enjoyed playing this game. This is honestly how I wanted Shinobi Shore because I wanted the combat system a lot like this because it's beautiful. And if you ever play a game like Dragon Ball, then this game is definitely for you because it's definitely got that feel to it. It's just, I don't want to say more skill because the skill is like pretty much the same, but it's extremely fun and it's very, very medium pace. So anyone who's coming into the game will be able to learn it, but you will be punished for going up against people not knowing your character. So make sure to pick a main. Make sure you know a little bit something going into the game. So I do advise doing tutorial and practicing a little bit. And all that being said, man, hope you get the game and hope you enjoy it.